Can we use AI to lessen corruption here in the Philippines?
I would say AI amplifies whatever it is that we input. Kung it is controlled by bad actors, then of course you would get worse output. So ganun pa rin. It's really a tool.
Today on From the Heart, pag-uusapan natin ang isang topic na araw-araw ay parte na ng buhay. Kung hindi man lahat ng tao, malamang karamihan ng tao. Dati, di ba, parang science fiction lang to napapanood natin sa mga movies, nababasa natin sa mga libro na ito will be the next thing. And now it is happening. Ginagamit sa trabaho, sa school, sa business, banking, government, content creation, health, climate, at kung ano-ano pang bagay. Magulat tayo yung mga nakikita natin na mga panlinis sa bahay. AI na din daw yan. Kasi nga, mas napapadali nito ang buhay nating lahat. Pero meron ding mga natatakot. Marami na ring nawalan ng trabaho because of AI dahil ang sinasabi nila, baka daw mapalitan na tayo ng artificial intelligence. And because of this, meron din mga natatakot na baka dahil sa AI, matindi na yung kalaban natin ngayon because of fake news, misinformation, baka mas lumala pa. At ngayon, dagdagan pa natin yung usapin ng environmental cost ng AI. Dahil sinasabi nila, behind every prompt, every chatbot answer, every AI-generated image or video, may totoong infra, data center, servers, kuryente, cooling systems na mamaya itong kausap natin ang magpapaliwanag sa atin how does this all work. Ngayon nga po ang kasama natin ay isang Filipino expert na hindi lang basta tungkol sa pag-aaral ng AI, kundi expert din when it comes to data because he is a lead data scientist, an AI engineer at the Artificial Intelligence and Big Data Lab of the Asian Development Bank. He works on AI solutions for climate resilience, financial risk assessment, public sector innovation, and AI education, and has also helped develop data science programs sa De La Salle University. And to help us understand artificial intelligence more, kasama nga natin ngayon on From the Heart, straight from the heart, Jude Michael Teves. Hi, Jude.
Hello, hello.
Unang gusto ko malaman sa'yo, kanina natanong ko na, you're 29 years old, pero bago ka mapunta sa mundo ng AI, ilang taon ka nagkaroon ng idea na, uy, gusto ko nasa tech side ako pagka nag-work na ako?
Ever since actually, nung start pa lang ng college, ito na yung focus ko. At that point in time, I was deciding ano ba yung maganda maging focus in CS. Most people back then would go to software engineering route. Most jobs that you would see back then, puro ganon. You will create mobile apps, web apps, and all that. So that's the default route. And I did that as well. Nung nasa school pa ako, I was also doing a lot of AI and robotics. Kasi I think I really wanted to focus on that eventually. I already know na ito yung magiging thing in the future. I really believe that it will be one of the most impactful technologies. And I guess good decision.
What course did you take up?
Computer science, computer engineering.
So computer science during college and then your master's is?
Data science.
Ano talagang focus ng data science?
We are really trying, for the most part, address a business need. I'm connecting it sa nangyari sa workplace through the use of various techniques. A lot of them would be AI-based. Pero it doesn't have to be AI. Could be a simple, a visualization. Could be a simple mathematical model or simple descriptive statistic. So there's a lot of things that we could do. The point is we use data to address a problem.
But hindi lahat ng nagtapos ng computer science nagma-masters in data science, right?
I'm not sure if it has changed, pero sa network ko are not in CS.
Anong background nila bago sila
Halo-halo. Kasi ang good thing naman about data science is you have an input kahit ano pang background mo. Of course, may preference sa tech-savvy people, right? Kasi you'll be doing a lot of tech work, coding work, kanyan. But I have a lot of classmates coming from business, from engineering, from sciences, yung more physical sciences. So people can be from different backgrounds. And why is that? Kasi again, you're trying to solve a problem and you need multiple lens to solve a problem.
For example, I'm in the media. I can also take up data science?
Data science is, I think, this is my opinion, maybe a bit biased, but data science is something that should be learned by almost everyone. It teaches you how to solve problems using data. We have data everywhere.
So that's 2 years after nung 4 years na course mo?
You work pa muna. Yun yung naging software engineer. After graduating sa LaSalle, I worked as a software engineer.
Software engineer. Ilang years ka nag-work?
I worked as software engineer doon 1 year, then I took master's agad. Going back to what I said earlier, I really wanted to focus on AI na. Data science is adjacent to AI.
If someone wants to learn about AI, pwede ang data science.
Yeah, but right now, they don't have to kasi ang dami ng options.
How many years to?
About 1.5-ish years.
And then after studying sa AIM, nag-work ka na ulit
Yes, I worked.
sa ADB na to.
I did a couple of consultancy gigs pa muna before ADB.
You are still with ADB now.
Yes.
How many years na?
I worked in ADB back then, midway in the pandemic. So I still worked. Then I left. I went to other companies. So I worked mostly in financial institutions, Film Life. And then I went to the Credit Bureau, TransUnion, here in the Philippines. And then I went back to ADB.
Ano exactly ang job description mo sa ADB? What do you do for them?
In general, anything AI and tech. Some of my, I guess, main projects, we built this AI application for assessing the risk in the countries in Asia Pacific. So for example, there's a sea level rise in the country of Tonga. What is the financial loss if that happens? And you'll see a simulation, you'll see a map, all these things. Basically to help policymakers, heads of the government. They see this is the impact of this. So what will you do now?
When I was reading your credentials, nakalagay dito, nagtitrain ka ng mga government officials din.
Then,
Is
yes.
here in the Philippines, also outside of the country?
In the Philippines the mostly. So this was one of the things that I used to do actively before ADB. But siguro in some capacity, I still do that in ADB for other officers from different countries. Going back, yung active phase ko na I was doing that. Before ADB, I was affiliated with Development Academy of the Philippines and also DLSU. I had a lot of workshops, classes, and you name it. Most of my engagement with LaSalle is really teaching undergrad and postgrad. Every once in a while, we have some workshop na for C-level executives. So 2 years ago, we had this workshop funded by US. They really wanted to advance manufacturing sector here in the country. And the idea is, pag tinuruan mo yung mga bosses, like the president, VP, you name it, at least gets nila. When you're high up there, you don't really understand na the nitty-gritty of things. Pero same approach yung ginagawa ko for both government officials and C-level executives.
What exact government agency yung naturuan mo?
Primarily through DAP, Development Academy of the Philippines. It's an agency here in the Philippines, now under NEDA. You could say they're like the school of the government. They have a lot of classes, sessions, workshops for government officials. So ang mga sessions ko before, definitely AI, analytics, data science, puro mga ganon for the past couple of years.
Para lang mas simple, mas maintindihan ng mga ordinaryong tao na nanonood sa atin ngayon, ano ang AI sa kanila? Ano nga ba itong artificial intelligence?
Ang pinaka parang simpleng explanation ko back then, it's simply a computer's mimicry of human intelligence. Kunwari, there's this task or skill na usually ina-associate natin sa tao and nalagay mo yun sa computer. That's AI. Syempre, it's a spectrum. There can be yung more simpler AI or yung more sophisticated ones. Most people ngayon are exposed to would be ChatGPT, mga ganyan, Gemini, all that. I would say nandun na siya sa complex side of the spectrum.
So ano yung mas mababa sa Google, sa ChatGPT, sa Gemini na hindi masyadong complex na artificial intelligence?
Yung dating Google search, before sumikat yung mga AI stuff na to, it's still AI. Based nga sa definition natin of AI na very general. Before mag-blow up yung AI recently in the past few years, most of AI really that we're doing, mga around 2010 to 2020-ish, machine learning based. Again, let's start with AI. AI is really the superset na terminology. Again, it captures everything. It's the mimicry of human intelligence. Any form of that could be simple, could be complex, could be as simple as mga business rules. That can be AI as long as it does something normally associated to humans. Now, machine learning, now you apply a lot of more sophisticated techniques. Ang idea dun is you have a lot of data and then you do not explicitly tell the computer what to do. Parang batuhan lang ka ng data, you will eventually figure it out. Classic example in machine learning is like, is this a coffee or not? And then I'll show you like thousands of examples na ganito. This is a coffee. Ideally, in machine learning, you feed thousands of examples. Bigyan kita ng maraming pictures ng phone. Eventually, ma-figure out mo na, if I show you this, alam mong phone yan.
Machine learning siya before, hindi pa kasing complex ng AI ngayon. May mga nagsasabi, mas magaling pa yung AI sa tao. Is that alarming? Meron na rin mga trabaho ngayon na may chance, hindi man bukas, 5 years or 10 years from now, baka wala na because of AI.
Partially true. There's this thing na we're calling these days na jagged intelligence. In some skills or tasks, mas magaling na siguro yung AI. A specific task, siguro mas personal. Na-encounter ko right now, even though ito talaga yung main work ko, coding. Mas mabilis mag-code yung AI. I would say parang for most tasks and use cases sa coding, mas okay yung AI. But pag umabot ka sa point na it's very complex, it's very niche, in general, kailangan ng human intervention. Human oversight, di mo papalitan. Kasi every once in a while, mag-hallucinate siya. So, kailangan bantayan ng tao. AI-assisted lahat. So, human will be there. We can't be replaced. But there's AI assistance.
I think hindi lang ako yung may ganitong fear. Baka naman lahat tayo. Or baka yung iba hindi natatakot kasi mas sobrang dali na ng buhay nila now because of AI. Paano tayo makakasiguro na yung paggamit natin ng AI, hindi napupurol yung utak natin?
It's hard. I've been a professor na for many years, 6 years. Yes, I've seen the changes kasi when I started to teach, wala pa, hindi pa sikat yung AI. While I was doing that, eventually nag-transition. So I also had to adjust how I teach. And actually, isa pa ako sa nag-promote ng AI when it happened kasi this is my main thing. Ito yung main work ko. So nung lumabas yung ChatGPT end of 2022,
You
November
promoted it to
2022.
your students?
Yes, I show. Pero with caution, I always show it to them and how you use it. But please be cautious kasi it will mess up. But yes, I acknowledge na it has advanced so much na back in 2022 when I have shown that, tinry ko yung AI sagutin yung mga quizzes ko and homework. Hindi pa niya nasasagot. Then parang around 6 months or a year after that, nasasagot na. After that, I realized it's hard. Kaya na talaga masagot most. So I changed my approach. Mas may emphasis na lang ako on oral presentation, explain it to me in person.
Na pwede rin gawing approach sa mga professors, no? Para ma-check nila, natututo ba talaga yung mga estudyante ko o baka lahat ng pinapasa sa akin at ginagawa namin puro AI?
Pero it's not wrong to use AI kasi it really makes us more efficient. That's not a problem.
How can everyone be cautious in using AI? Kailan dapat tama na at hanggang saan lang dapat natin to ginagamit?
I guess for me, I'll share kung ano yung approach ko. Depende kung ano yung need ko for this particular task. If what I really need at this point in time is efficiency, then all in AI. But of course, kailangan ko pa na-check output. But I will allot some time to actually do the learning. Yes, I rely on AI. I do a lot of checks. Sige, this is good. But every once in a while, may dedicated session ako for doing things by myself. I really learn things. Kasi if you don't, then yun nga, mapupurol ka. At some point, you will be over-reliant.
Kaya lang hindi lahat may ganong disiplina eh. For parents, paano niya ituturo sa anak niya na, anak, be careful with AI? Dapat ba, as young as grade school, inaaral na to para alam din ng mga teachers kung hanggang saan lang dapat gamitin to ng mga bata?
AI is fairly new. We don't know its impact kapag na introduce mo na at a very young age. So I'm not so sure, to be honest. Maybe I can share about what's being done in Australia. Binan ang social media and all that in Australia. Medyo matanda na yun parang teenager. So maybe to some extent, we can do that. Sa first few years of, their childhood, very critical for the mental growth. Pag naging over-reliant sila on this, maybe it won't develop as much. For example, young kid, you don't socialize agad at a very young age. Malaki yung implications nun later on. If you don't develop that part of the brain, eventually, magiging stagnant and maglo-lock in na.
But are there studies na tinitignan nyo ngayon sa mga tao na sobra ang gamit ng AI? Tapos talagang pupuro lang utak?
I haven't read one specifically, but that's basically a normal thing naman in general. Whenever you don't use a part of your brain, normally it degrades.
So how do you teach your students now? Paano nila ginagamit yung AI?
No, I'm not so active when it comes to teaching. No. Back then, I explicitly tell them na maybe for this particular lesson, let's not use AI. The intent here is for you to learn the foundations. That's it. And siguro approach ko as a professor, maybe every once in a while, I'll tell them this is not graded. This is for learning only. Just learn this topic, not rely on these tools. Hopefully later on, mas maging madali kasi you acquire the fundamentals. So I make it very explicit. Kasi I think sometimes if there's extra pressure, maghanap na lang sila ng easy way out. Again, just rely on AI tools.
Kailan ba nagsimula yung pumutok ng husto yung artificial intelligence?
I would say 2023. 2022 yung release of ChatGPT, but
So,
towards the end of the year na
post-pandemic?
yun. Post-pandemic.
ChatGPT ba yung first?
Marami na.
Pero ito yung pinaka-successful. We can say siya yung pinaka...
I would say one of the pivotal moments. Parang na-democratize talaga yung AI. Kasi back then, it's not that good, at least sa perspective ng most people. Around 2019, it will hallucinate a lot. 1 plus 1, it will give you gibberish. Ganun dati yung output. And that's generally like the state of the art. When ChatGPT was released, parang ako, maybe it's not as good.
Noon, sabi mo nga gibberish pa yung mga sagot, naghahang madalas. Anong difference ng mga AI noon na gibberish pa sa AI ngayon?
As in, basic human language, English language, sobrang palpak.
But now,
Very far. As in, very, very, very far.
language kaya.
I won't say lahat, but most popular languages. Kasi they still have to allot resources to train the LLM for that particular language. And most ng ginagamit natin na data for AI would be the ones on the internet, and most na nasa internet would be English. Sabihin natin, merong very niche na dialect dito sa Pilipinas, baka di kayanin.
Meron bang hindi kayang gawin sina ChatGPT and Gemini and other AI sa ngayon?
Anything physical in nature, hindi nila kaya. Going back to the term LLM. It's a language model. They're highly efficient when it comes to language. Pero other stuff, it's not so good. Math, it's not good with math. What's happening really behind the scenes would be, it would call a separate service na pang math. Pag alam niya na ang question mo about math, meron dedicated AI for math. But language model is really dedicated for language, not for math. When I was actively testing these things, again, I tried this 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Nakita ko na paganda talaga. So maybe at some point in time, it can. But just by how it was built, I don't think it can really do a lot of math-related tasks very well. You need a dedicated model for that.
Sino nag-develop ng like ito, yung mismo ChatGPT, Gemini, and all that?
Ang daming institutions. I would say a global effort. Pero as usual, most of these things, at least back then, centered sa US. You know, the big tech giants and all that. The core model or technology in AI that is used in these LLMs like ChatGPT, Gemini, and all that, no, Anthropic, would be transformers. Transformer architecture was released 2017, 2018, and that's from Google, if I remember correctly. Google has developed a lot of, very important models sa field of AI. But, Microsoft would also develop some and others. So, usually, it's those big tech giants talaga. Marami silang contribution. And the good thing with AI, it's very open source. At least back then, when these things were being developed, may release si Google, then Microsoft will adopt that. Then, others will follow suit. Natututo sila sa isa't isa.
Sabi mo natututo sila sa isa't isa, itong mga tech giants na ito. Pero yung gumagamit ng AI halimbawa, na pag ginamit mo yan, pag finid mo pa siya ng mas maraming impormasyon, mas tumatalino pa yung AI mo na yan. Is that true?
Learning about you, definitely. Meron na siyang memory of you. So you can actually check that sa ChatGPT. Meron siyang summary of you. So based on your questions, your prompts and everything, it records those things and then it comes up with a summary of you para mas maganda yung responses niya.
Kumbaga, naka-pattern sa'yo kung paano kanya sasagutin, which is kind of scary kasi meron nga akong mga nakikita, ginagawa nilang friend si AI pag wala sila makausap. I mean, okay lang ba yun? Ginagawang kaibigan si ChatGPT or Gemini, nakikita ko ngayon, it's now trending online.
That's true. I think I've seen some of those then. And that can be very problematic then kasi there was a recent study about this. The conclusion is AI models will agree with your statements. Hindi ka nila medyo i-contradict. Akala mo, pag nag-ask ka ng, opinion ng AI, feel mo tama na to. But in reality, pag in-apply mo, rejected ka pala or something like that. Be cautious na with the use of that kasi maybe you'll feel confident na, validated ni AI. Sabi ni AI, pwede to. But in practice, people work differently. So, it won't work.
Pero what if kilala ka na niya? Kunwari, araw-araw ng buhay, meron tao ginamit siya, araw-araw ng buhay niya, lahat ng problema niya, sinabi niya kay AI. Chances are, tama ba yung magiging sagot sa kanya?
Still no, kasi generally agreeable lang talaga yung AI.
So pag tinanong ko siya, pumapayat na ba ako kahit hindi? Pwede niya sabihin,
kailangan minsan i-contest mo talaga na parang, no, mali to, this is what's happening.
Ngayon, Jude, ang dami ng tulong ng AI sa buhay natin. Pero kapag usapang AI, dito sa Pilipinas, I think meron silang planong itayo. It's a collaboration between the US and the Philippines.
Right.
Somewhere in Tarlac. I think around 4,000 acres ang itatayo nila doon. It's an AI hub. Marami mga tao nagrereklamo. Number one source of water nila, kumukonte and dumudumi. Anong kinalaman ng AI sa water source natin?
Generally, AI is power hungry. For them to generate the responses, ang laki nung binaburn nila na kuryente. Kasi mainit sobra. Edi syempre, parang lalagyan na ng tubig. I mean, this is my oversimplification of that. But merong mainit na device, edi lagyan ko ng tubig para ma-dissipate yung heat better. That's really the main idea. And again, you have like a big server, lots of these computers, so you have that setup.
Are you okay with the Philippines building that big AI hub here? Kasi sabi mo nga, ngayon may energy crisis tayo eh. Meron pa ring mga lugar na may problema sa tubig. Are we ready for that?
I think with their current infra, no. Pero hopefully, with this initiative, susolusyonan nila yun. Dahil kailangan nila yun, magsaset up sila ng more, power plants for generating electricity. I hope yun yung gagawin nila. Siguro, baka may white paper sila about the Pax Silica initiative. Should be, yun yung una nilang i-address.
When you first heard about that news na may magtatayo ng ganun, anong unang pumasok sa utak mo?
I'm trying to be optimistic.
Hopeful ka.
Kasi
mabibigay na trabaho nun sa mga Pilipino,
tulong.
Right? Oo.
And hopefully makaka-catch up na tayo with our neighbors kasi for the past couple of years, decade, napag-iwanan na talaga tayo. Like, ang dami ng investments sa neighboring countries. In fact, like, for example, na-overtake na tayo na Indonesia and Vietnam. Sobrang iwan na tayo in terms of infra na back then, medyo ahead pa yung Pilipinas. Kasi nag-invest na yung other tech giants in those countries. They were able to set up a lot of these servers, computing resources, and whatnot. Ngayon, I think parang may chance na yung Philippines para makahabol because of this. Pero I hope they address these fundamental issues. like a better sources of power.
Kung magbibigay ka ng advice ngayon dun sa mga government officials natin who's going to handle that AI hub na itatayo sa Tarlac, anong advice ibibigay mo sa kanila?
I mean, I guess I'll go back to our conversation earlier na they have to make sure na the infra is there far from the neighborhood para hindi naman mantala yung mga tao in the different communities in that area. And also, since this can be a pivotal moment for our country, try to reduce the red tape, really.
I mean, can we use AI to lessen corruption here in the Philippines?
I would say AI amplifies whatever it is that we input. Kung it is controlled by bad actors, then of course you would get worse output.
Kung meron kang isang government agency na lalagyan ng AI or AI model, anong government agency yan at anong klaseng model yung ilalagay mo?
I'll start with DepEd. I don't think it's just gonna be one model. It's different models for different things talaga. DepEd's mandate is to really improve the education here in our country. For the case of students, create dedicated models just for learning things. Yung hindi spit out ng fake news, yung hindi maghalusin as much. Parang talagang, you could say, your personal tutor.
Parang
if you will.
platform for students, pero hindi fake news ang makikita nyo. Matututo kayo sa That's
So
nice.
parang mas curated siya just for learning.
For the students and for learning. That is nice. Maganda yun. Saan ka pinaka na-excite ngayon sa growth ng AI? At saan ka rin pinaka nag-worry?
Excited ako about the progress that will make. It really supercharges a lot of things. For me, I can develop applications overnight, and maybe marami na kayo nakita examples na some successful developers na they were able to create this in 2 days, 3 days or something. We can do it. You can do it with AI. It really enables a lot of people na dati bibili ka pa ng service, babayad ka pa ng app just for this. You can build it yourself. That's also the worrying thing because it can do all these things. We are now becoming overly dependent on it, and sometimes maybe we don't really get to appreciate the hard work and sometimes the edge cases dun sa application na yun. Kasi you think you can build everything by yourself. In reality, it's that remaining 1% na mahirap gawin that makes something, a successful product or idea.
With what you do now and with AI getting bigger and bigger, dumadami din yung mga bata na gustong field na yan ang tahakin. Kamusta ba dito sa Pilipinas? Well paid ba yung mga tao na nasa tech or AI side? Okay ba dito or marami pa rin ang nangingibang bansa?
I mean, definitely mas malayo sa kikitain mo kapag nag-abroad ka. Pero competent enough naman, I'm pretty sure. I will have to double check my numbers, but
6 digits?
Generally
Starting?
nandun naman.
Even after makagraduate ng mga bata?
Things have changed because of AI. But I wouldn't say pagka-graduate. Maybe with a few years of experience, if you're really good, you could easily get to that level.
And what country yung karamihan or karaniwang pinupuntahan ng mga Pinoy?
Well, I mean, the Western powers, US, Australia,
yeah.
well, technically East, but Western. I clustered them together. Anyway, Europe, mga ganyan, classic.
Late na ba tayo sa AI education here in the Philippines? Kulang?
We're not ahead. I think we can still catch up. This is me being optimistic. Pero ang dami natin kailangang i-address na fundamental issues. I mean, for example, this is just one metric pero you might have heard yung mga PISA report in the past few years.
Yeah.
And we're like, if not the lowest, one of the lowest for the past few years. Medyo, I mean...
Di maganda standing ng mga Pinoy students, I know.
How can we even do AI kung yung fundamentals natin shaky? So let's start with that.
Doon pa lang pala makukuha ko na yung sagot. Talagang behind tayo with AI kasi behind nga tayo with math, science, and English. Ngayon ba, meron ng mga nagtuturo ng AI sa grade school and high school? Because I remember, may computer subject naman kami nung high school, pero like those are just basic stuff.
Yeah, high school definitely. And mas accessible yung coding ngayon because it's just so easy to do that with ChatGPT.
Should we start teaching our kids
yes, I
AI?
I think it's a very fundamental skill ngayon. So, yes. At least how it's used, the limitations and all that.
Paano natin sisiguruhin na AI is there not to harm us but to help us?
One ongoing issue with AI is what we call the moral alignment. It's still actively being worked on. How do we make sure na yung AI is aligned with our human morals? Recently, there is partnership and conversation na already see Anthropic and the Pope from Vatican. The Pope has published the encyclical. Basically, he's warning about the use of AI, but he's pro-AI. Now, I think what Anthropic and the Pope is doing is they're gonna try to align how AI responds with, what we think is right.
Wow, grabe, usapang moral na ngayon. May moral issue no?
Yeah.
Kasi nga sabi mo kanina, may human intervention pa rin. Halimbawa kung ilagay mo siya sa isang government agency, hindi pa rin tayo makakasure kung may AA na dyan. Kung yung nagpapatakbo nun, corrupt.
Yeah.
Kahit may AI pa, corrupt pa rin.
Mm-mm.
What is one thing you wish every Filipino understood about AI?
I hope this is already a given, pero AI is a tool, so it still depends on us, on how we use it. Pero to also be fair about it, it's not like any other tool because we haven't really talked about this too much earlier, yung Industrial Revolution. We've already had like this is the fourth Industrial Revolution. So what is an Industrial Revolution? To me, basically, there's a significant change in how we live our lives. Parang nag-improve sobra yung buhay natin because of this particular technology. So for example, first Industrial Revolution, it's about steam engines. Because of that, we had factories and na-automate maraming bagay. Second Industrial Revolution, electricity. We're able to harness electricity. And again, more automation. Third Industrial Revolution is computers. I mean, we are all using computers. So I think everyone understands kung gaano ka-impactful siya. And then now the fourth one is AI. So again, it's a tool, but it's one of the really, really impactful tools that we have ever used as a human race.
Pero ano yung feeling mo na ngayon pinag-uusapan natin na most possibly by 5 years or 10 years from now, meron na because of AI?
I think more of the physical robots na talaga. There's this Lunar Festival event, diba? Recently, past few months. Tapos yung China nag-showcase sila ng AI and robots. So the robots are dancing and very fluid yung movements. It's not perfect. I mean, I've seen yung parang behind the scenes na sometimes, it messes up every once in a while. Pero generally, we're getting there. Nakita mo na yung mga robots doing like backflip and all that stuff. Imagine, few more iterations in the next few years, kaya na talaga nilang, maglakad sa labas, interact with humans. Maybe that's becoming more and more possible na.
Being an AI guy, natatakot ka pa rin sa future
Without
ng industrial technology and AI?
Without proper guardrails and governance, oo. Again, it's a tool. So if we have the proper governance rules and whatnot about it, then I'm hopeful. Pero yes, at this point in time, wala pa. Dahil wala pa, I'm worried.
So ngayon ba dapat kabahan na tayo kahit wala pa? Hindi pa naman.
Kabahan na onte. Because wala pa tayo. Parang we're lagging behind.
We're way behind.
Oo.
Kaya
Parang,
kabahan tayo na meron na yung ibang bansa, tayo wala pa rin.
We're generally reactive. Parang pag nandiyan na, okay, so what do we do? Anong gagawin nating rules about this thing? Nandiyan na. So dapat ang ginagawa natin, we should be proactive. We should preempt na before it happens, okay, ito yung mangyari. Kasi we know the trajectory of AI ngayon. What are gonna be the rules and, the policies for these things kapag nandiyan na.
So the government should start investing in artificial intelligence.
Should be. I'm pretty sure there are some initiatives about that. Not sure kung ano yung quality, but there are. For sure.
Marami lang yatang investment sa flood control.
Ay, yun talaga. Yun yung priority.
Kung may mga gustong sumunod sa footsteps mo, na halimbawa mga estudyante ngayon, saan sila dapat magsimula?
Maybe quite cliche, pero start with the morals, really. AI is here to serve us. And we should have the right morals when, eventually naging mas advanced na yung AI. And eventually, maybe you'll also work on these things and develop AI. If you don't have the right morals when you do this, then what's gonna happen to the human race? So let's start with that. Very cliche. Let's start with the human morals muna.
With this conversation, parang talagang ngayon, mas naiintindihan na natin that AI is there to sharpen our minds. Hindi naman tayo dapat kabahan if we're using it properly and correctly. Hindi naman sila nandyan to replace us.
Right.
So we can use it efficiently, kagaya ng paulit-ulit mong sinasabi ngayon. Actually, marami pa akong gustong itanong kay Jude, but I'm sure marami rin siyang gagawin ngayon dahil nga, hello, kita niyo naman yung credentials itong guest natin ngayon. But I'd like to say thank you for all the learnings today. Sobrang dami kong natutunan. I'm sure even our listeners and viewers ngayon, marami rin sila natutunan ngayon dito sa mga share mo sa aming information. Lack of time, hindi na natin napag-usapan about AI and climate resilience and climate change, kung paano nga makakatulong tong artificial intelligence. Yung ibang mga bansa, ginagamit na rin to, right, for climate resilience. Pero soon, i-guest natin siya ulit, guys, para sa iba pang mga questions ninyo about artificial intelligence. Once again, on Straight from the Heart, we have Jude Michael Teves.